It's Spooky Night! Great, good, we're back again. You know, last year I grabbed a random dumb-looking movie off of ChristianCinema.com, and you know, that worked out fairly well for me, so this year I decided to do the exact same thing. I know almost nothing about this movie other than I saw the cover, of course, and then I read the description, which sounds freaking amazing. It says this:
Adam, a young musician, had the perfect life until one day everything changed. His father, detective,
of course,
Joseph Gable, continues on a relentless path to save Adam's soul
as angels and demons are disguised as humans.
This ancient spiritual war between good and evil will test their faith as dark strangers descend on modern-day Toronto.
Dove approved for only ages 12 and up.
Okay, so now that we know what that is about, be sure to grab your candy buckets. Just have popcorn this time, come on. In these tough economic times, in this political climate, and let's jump right into my movie night review of Adam's Testament from The Real Deal Guys. Of course. You know, this movie is undoubtedly the real deal.
For what should it profit a man if he should gain the whole world but lose his soul?
I don't know why I haven't been asked to do a full reading of the Bible. That would be great.
In the beginning.
Ah, look out! It's a ripoff of the Halloween music. Ah!
So we start with this grimacing old man staring at an inkjet printout of one of the Lawrence brothers, I believe.
That was a dated reference, but I think it works.
Then he drinks some pee.
I'm scared already.
Okay, come on. It's just one Christian movie for the paycheck. I can do this, let's go. So this is Canada, huh?
Please, sir, could you spare some privatized health care? Then we cut over to probably what Tom DeLonge is doing any given weekday night. You know, under Canadian law, I don't know if I'm legally allowed to say everything that's stupid about this shot. I'll just give a few. Side zipper shirt, prayer candles, whatever this guy's doing.
So the detective walks into a bar,
and someone says, "What is this, a joke?"
and he says, "No, it's the coolest club known to man."
I mean, just listen to that music. Check out this, whatever's going on here. Seems like something I'd love to be a part of.
Everybody that was on sale, give him a hell of a hand!
Oh yeah, this is gonna be one of those kinds of Christian movies. Oh hey, isn't that Mason from the Weekly Planet podcast? Boy, all of my references today, they're such deep cuts. I like it. All right, so the detective's walking around this gay nightclub.
I'm looking for someone.
This guy took my fingernail clippers.
Does this ring any bells?
Wait here.
They're playing my favorite industrial rock song.
Did I turn off the stove? Yes, it did ring a bell.
He's in the back.
Now, is that so hard?
All right, so he goes to the back to find that guy in the picture, but all he finds is the former members of the band falling in reverse.
Hey, Adam. It's been a while.
That's my favorite Stain song. You look like the kind of guy who would listen to them unironically. So he like arrests him or something because, you know, movie.
Adam's Testament, another testament of Jesus Christ.
So we get this awesome intro that would rival even the first season of Smallville's intro. This has got to be one of my biggest pet peeves. Movies that show footage of the movie in the opening credits, second only to movies with opening credits. Also, nipple. Then we cut back to Adam getting arrested. But he's not actually getting arrested, like earthly arrested.
You can't arrest me, I haven't broken any laws.
On the contrary, you have broken the law, not according to the criminal code, but according to the book.
Because it turns out this is his dad?
Father has every right.
So they argue in the car, you know, spitting exposition at each other, as one does.
I'm free to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. I got my music, no rules, no guidelines.
My life's a regular Outback Steakhouse commercial, Dad.
You think you're so damn honorable. What you're doing right now is illegal.
Well, this seems like the hardest movie I've ever reviewed, so that's very exciting.
What in God's name possessed you?
Huh?
To turn your back on everything you once loved. You could have had anything. I mean, anything you wanted.
Magic beans? A unicorn? Anything.
You mean what you wanted?
All I've ever wanted was the best for you.
But I make my own damn decisions now.
I say the D word. I watch Harry Potter movies. I eat spaghetti with a spoon.
I just want to help you find your way.
Look, I know that it probably sucks to see your own son turn away from your beliefs, but I just don't feel like this is gonna be the most effective way of bringing him back. But Adam can sense his dad cares about him, so he uses that compassion to trick him into letting him go.
Get your hands off me.
But not before this awkward argument.
You listen to me. I don't want anything to do with you or your pathetic code of ethics making out like you're God's perfect little Christian.
Don't you remember your mother?
My mother.
Oh yeah, my mother. I forgot about her.
How dare you mock God's word?
How dare you? Bringing it back.
This is your life.
I didn't choose this life. God's will did.
Ah, another one of these Calvinist atheists.
I raised you, and this is how you repay me? I fed you. I cared for you.
I fed you, for goodness sake. Doesn't that count for anything?
I sacrificed my life for you.
Yeah, but like that doesn't mean that he has to believe the same thing as you. If somebody raised and cared for somebody and they told them that the earth was flat and then they're like, oh, the earth is actually round. And then you're like, what? I cared for you. I loved you. It's just kind of weird that this dad is acting like this son is doing something to him, but perhaps something more is happening here that we haven't seen yet.
You failed.
Adam!
Screw you, Dad!
Adam! Adam!
You forgot your testament!
As the detective ponders where he went wrong as a father to raise a son who plays such god-awful cliche radio rock,
That's when things really start to get scary. I warned you guys, everyone, this is a Halloween episode. He's visited by tap dancing Tom Watts.
I still got it.
Who would have thought the scariest thing about Satan would be having to tell him his dance isn't very good? And yes, this guy turns out to be the devil.
Before Lucifer.
He looks like the type of devil people who make films like this would imagine the devil would look like.
Been a long time.
Wait, isn't this the guy? Hold on. It is! It's the Antichrist from those 90s apocalypse movies. And I should watch those sometime. But I'm watching this right now, so let's get back to it.
Thought I'd just pop in, see how you were doing.
Father's job is never done.
Oh, I agree.
You'll never get your claws on him. Not as long as I'm alive.
I don't see any claws.
All right, so this conversation with Satan goes on for a little bit. Basically, what he says is, stay away from Adam! And Satan's like, look, I just want to watch the world burn. Then Satan walks away like Peg from Lady and the Tramp.
Wish that I could travel his way.
Well, at least he's having some fun with this character.
10 years ago.
Morning. You have my word. I will come straight home.
Wow, that was a crucial flashback.
Straight home.
Straight home, straight home, straight home.
Meanwhile, Adam's hanging out contemplating his life in the bad part of Toronto. And that's when he starts having a flashback of his own.
Hey,
But we don't know how long ago this was. When are we? So I think this is Adam remembering all the foreshadowing he had with his mom.
I don't know what we'd do without you.
Oh, well, you'd probably starve to death deciding who's gonna cook.
You'd probably join some terrible rock band. Your dad would stop wearing that awful wig.
Love you.
He waits for a sign. But that sign.
Is this still his mom?
So he spends his entire life repenting with this feeling that his God has forsaken him.
Oh, Adam, you always know the right things to say.
You want to know what the funniest part is?
No.
God probably wasn't even listening.
I think your stand-up routine needs a little work, Adam.
Well, that's when they decide to get out of there.
Yeah, hockey!
Meanwhile, Adam's dad is back home having his own flashbacks.
Next year's just around
Oh,
the
so
corner.
this is before their clothes lost their color. I'm getting it now.
Oh, Dad. See you later.
And now, what have I become? I lost my son, and more importantly,
My hair.
well, now we get the most important flashback of them all. Wow, look at that Rubik's Cube.
That's gotta be impossible to solve. So I think what we're seeing right now is the mom trying to fulfill her promise of coming,
Straight home.
but she could have never predicted this guy arguing with his wife, probably about how he won't spare a little extra material from his way too long pants to make patches for her jeans.
And apparently, he's a 3-year-old trapped inside of a grown man's body.
Bye! Bye-bye!
I love driving for real. Boo boo music driving. And that's when Adam's mom drops a piece of paper into the street. Then she dies. Is there not any other way that Christian movies can get somebody to have some sort of backstory other than their mother dying? Is that all we've got? Is this what Disney has done to storytelling? Then Adam arrives on the scene, only to find his mom isn't alive anymore.
Oh, no.
Adam, does this mean we're not going to Applebee's, or? And that's when the worst paramedics ever have this conversation.
What a shame. Family gets ripped apart. If it was up to me, we wouldn't even make it to the hospital.
Then Adam's dad got an idea. An awful idea. Adam's dad got a wonderful, awful idea.
You're a mean one.
I got this. Whatever you say.
He gets in the not an actual ambulance, and he, well, does something terrible.
A man was found dead in the back of an ambulance early this morning.
What?
After it went off a cliff and burst into flames behind this industrial facility here.
Meanwhile, I guess in the current timeline, on a green screen, Adam's driving his motorcycle.
Yeah! Woo!
Gotta slow down.
Why? Because he says so?
You're gonna kill us.
I'm not afraid to die. Are you?
So, not being afraid to die like a real badass, he complies and pulls over for the cop.
That's showing those pigs.
Turn around and put your hands where I can see them.
Satan?
This should be good.
But it isn't.
You want to go to jail? I got a game for you. It's called Watch How Fast Your Girlfriend Hits the Pavement. Want to play?
Why not?
What? Wow. Canadian first responders are definitely very different than here in America. They would never act this way. Not with a white guy.
Adam!
If you think little boy Blue over here is gonna do something to you over a little traffic violation, you're dumber than he is.
I'll probably get a commendation for taking care of a couple of lowlifes like you.
Please, God, stop!
God.
Oh, great, you got him started.
You need to accept the fact that God doesn't love you.
I just finished the first 3 chapters of the God Delusion, all right? Open your eyes.
Say goodnight, sweetie.
No, it's say goodnight, Kevin, but close enough.
Turn around, get on your knees,
And pray to the God you don't believe in. But fortunately, the cop gets called away before he can murder Adam and his girlfriend.
Looks like somebody up there likes you.
Not likely.
I swear if you turn one more colloquialism into an opportunity to talk about how you don't believe in God, I will murder your mother.
I kiss you on these streets again.
I kiss you on these streets again?
And it's game over.
Then we meet the coolest guy ever to be put to film, Mr. Raz.
I'm Mr. Raz.
I love Mr. Raz. He is so cool. I wish the movie was about him.
So Christian Adam from the past sits down to have a chat with Mr. Raz.
You been playing long?
I guess that was a pretty good joke.
Yeah, too long. I have met the best, and I have played with the best, and I have bargained with the best.
Bargained?
Yeah, it's a long story, kid. I'll tell you all about it sometime.
I mean, Charlie Daniels was able to tell it in like 3.5 minutes, and that's with all those fiddle solos, so...
I see great potential in you.
I've never seen someone strum that basic chord progression so eloquently.
Music, it's like science. Math.
Recess. Gym. Sorry, I'm just reading that list off the chalkboard. I'm just the janitor, man.
It's all about the
He said, she said.
vibrations. Phidias, Plato, Fibonacci, Euclid.
Ever heard of him?
Are you familiar with the golden ratio?
So yeah, California Satan goes on for a long time about pseudo-intellectual bullcrap, and I guess this is how Adam ended up selling his soul so he could be this guy.
You know, with Satan, there's always a trade-off.
I mean, sure, you may be the most awesome local band on open mic night, but is it worth having a tattoo with ink that runs when you sweat?
You can have anything you want in this universe.
That's funny. That's what my dad said.
Or is going to say.
Meanwhile, or 10 years later, I don't know anymore.
Here's a little change for the artwork you did on this wall.
Hey, what did you say?
Bless you, brother.
I didn't sneeze.
The boy you seek is not far away.
And how would you know that?
What?
Listen, Frank, I need a little intel.
Is he at a phone booth? on a cell phone? So now Adam's dad is, I guess, searching for Adam, and he decides to use his department resources to do this personal task. Meanwhile, I guess, or 20 years ago, I don't know, who knows, Adam is figuring out how to alternate between a suspended chord and a major chord, and his dad is quite impressed.
Is that one of yours?
Haven't figured out the bridge.
I just haven't figured out what other chord to use along with this one chorded song. So while Adam is walking down this alley that his dad walked down earlier, he hears this homeless guy singing about Gabriel blowing his trumpet.
Well, it's Gabriel playing.
And you know Adam, when he hears anything even vaguely religious, he's gotta stop and piss on their parade.
You don't really believe that stuff, do you?
You once did.
What'd you just say?
I once did.
I gotta hand it to this film for being the first Christian movie to accurately portray atheists.
You sounded good. It's got a lot of soul.
You mean like you once did?
What'd you just say?
I once did. All I see are God's precious gifts being wasted every day.
Why is everybody always in this movie talking about spiritual stuff? It's like,
So, how was your meal? Well, it wasn't as good as Jesus Christ. How was the baseball game? Satan, though.
Do you want to know what life really is? Liars, cheaters, backstabbers.
Homosexuals.
man, this guy really has a chip on his shoulder. And a really dumb tattoo on his neck. And that's when the bum whips out his impassioned monologue.
Yes, what you speak of is part of a truth, but not the truth, but a truth.
All right, come on.
Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing.
What I'm saying is stay away from furries. This Toronto air, man. Then cut over to Adam's girlfriend in another alley.
And that's when Satan shows up. We just had some amazing sushi.
Man, I better get out of this alley and go to the exact same alley. Or is this just what Toronto looks like everywhere?
But just when the demons are about to get her, some angels show up. And we're presented with this ancient spiritual showdown of biblical proportions.
Sorry for the trouble.
No,
man.
seriously, that's it. What the heck was that? It's like some low-budget B-movie happened right in front of me.
If you thought Adam's girlfriend's troubles were over, you would be wrong. Because that's when Satan shows up again, I think.
Yes. Hello.
Do you have any Grey Poupon for my deviled eggs?
I'm a music producer.
How do you know Adam?
I caught his act the other night. It was wonderful.
Now I know you're lying.
I love his sound. It's exactly what the kids are buying these days.
Well, I'll let him know.
Yeah, I'll let him know about the kids.
But then Satan gets blocked by these angels.
Angel Force!
No, it's okay. I'll walk from here.
You know, I feel like it has never quite been put to film like this, how tempting Satan really can be. Now I get it. And in true Donkey Ali style,
We get a song.
Watch out, here it comes. It's gonna take you by surprise.
I don't even understand the context here.
All your sins.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just sing the song. We'll fix all your pitchy problems in post.
Out of time.
This really is what the kids are listening to these days. So I don't know if you caught this because it's not interesting at all, but throughout this movie, the dad is like investigating some case and he's put his best guys on it. It's somehow related to what's going on with Adam, but we're not totally sure.
And they're figuring it all out as they scroll through these ancient books and the Bible, while the dad goes around showing random strangers his son's picture.
Hey, have you seen my adult son?
But little does he know,
All he has to do is go back to the club where his son always is. All those instruments coming out of one guitar? He must have made a deal with the devil.
and a bottle of rum. Woo, electric trumpet solo! But Detective This Guy is starting to figure it out.
We will rise again.
My goodness, it's a message from Finger 11 saying they'll be popular again. We must put a stop to this.
Can I have archives, please?
Well, gee, I don't know. Maybe it's above your pay scale, Frank.
How do you know my name? Hello. Hey, Brad.
Brad, how do you know my name? How do you know my name, Brad?
I hate nosy detectives.
Especially when they barely serve any purpose to the plot. Meanwhile, or 10 years ago, we catch up with Detective Dad at the cemetery.
Hello?
Hiya, Joe.
It's me, over here.
Cute Frank.
Can't believe cute Frank met me here at the cemetery.
So after a warm embrace,
The two detectives catch up on what's going on in the movie.
I need to talk to you about Adam.
What are you talking about?
Adam.
You remember that case you were asking me about? And we kept getting nowhere because the feds were breathing down our backs.
Which is even weirder than breathing down my neck, which is how the expression actually goes.
Yeah, that's right.
You won't believe this, but
I don't know, I've seen a lot of butts.
we think that the same guy who was running these places 20 years ago is back.
Are you serious?
I've got a file 2 inches thick that I managed to pull.
I'm telling you, this file is longer than my... Well, it's 2 inches.
Yes, of course. We gotta find Adam.
We will. Just sit tight and wait for me. I translated those words you sent. It just keeps repeating awake or rise up or something.
I think it's Evanescence lyrics.
Yeah, Frank, I'll be there.
You think I'd miss another opportunity to stand super close to you and touch you awkwardly?
Could we back it up a little bit, please? You're making everyone uncomfortable. Then this priest shows up.
Father Callahan.
Wow, what are the odds that he would run into not one, but 2 different people that he knows in the cemetery?
I didn't know you're still in this church.
Well, how would you know? You never enter the premises.
Touche.
How is Adam?
I guess there's no point in lying to a priest.
Dude, he's a priest, not a mind reader.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think I'll ever get him back.
I think I've lost him to post-grunge rock forever.
I'm so sorry, Joseph. I know it must be hard on you.
Yeah, I guess you're right. This is primarily about me.
To turn on his faith, the one sacred thing that we both taught him to hold on to.
Man, I thought we brainwashed him enough so he wouldn't rebel like this. Why? Why?
Joseph, a man's faith is tested many times in his life. Believe me, I know. It comes with the territory. The question is, do we...
Oh my gosh, this is a very boring movie. I always wonder what the point is of movies like this. I know that isn't like a criticism, but what are they trying to say? All right, some other things happen, and then we cut to Detective Dad at this nasty bar with way too many lights. Turn the lights down a little bit so we don't have to see how gross this place is. There we go, thank you. So at the bar, he talks to this beautiful brunette, and they clearly have an amazing time. I mean, you can't not have a fun time when you have these many super fast crossfades. And yes, I didn't make those. That's the movie. Somebody said, yep, that's a good movie. It put this out there for people to criticize. Movie makers, don't you know that there's people like me out there?
Nice to meet you.
Ew, that is an uncomfortable handshake. I mean, I guess the movie's just trying to prepare us for the strangest threesome in human history.
You're weak, Joseph. Are you kidding?
Yeah, there you go. That's all I could, that's what's happening here.
And have succumbed to the 7 deadly sins of man.
So filled with guilt after that unspeakable debauchery, guess he decides to kill himself, which is understandable, but sad. Don't do that, everyone.
A message from BetterHelp.
I do not deserve to go on any longer.
Why is he so upset at himself? Why is he doing this to himself? Fortunately, he's stopped by this angel.
Don't be afraid.
Man, it's too bad God doesn't send angels to help everyone who tries to kill themselves. God works in mysterious ways through the hands of movie makers.
Says the Lord. He will help your son through Jesus Christ, who strengthens you.
Look, I get that this whole movie is supposed to be like an allegory or something. It's supposed to be fiction. But I feel like there's a right and a wrong way to do that sort of thing. And I certainly don't feel like this is the right way to do it.
The battle has begun.
All right, I guess that means things are about to get awesome. Here we go. And you aren't gonna believe where they're headed.
We're entering the den of evil.
You're gonna see things that you don't understand.
It's gonna get real weird in here.
But you don't have to be afraid.
But you probably should be.
The eyes are the windows to our soul.
Cool.
Stay close.
And also remember, I'm totally an angel, all right? So they go into purgatory, which is exciting. I mean, I've wanted to see what it looks like in there for a long time.
Go to the men's washroom, you'll be greeted.
Okay, so as the waitress instructs, they go to the men's washroom, or water closet, as they say in purgatory. Now, just keep that location in mind because that's an important detail for what's about to come. Not for the movie, just for your own personal entertainment. It makes the movie that much more funny to remember that this is all taking place in the bathroom of a bar. Hold on. It's occupied.
Welcome.
Out of my way, Samyaza.
My friend and I just had Indian food. Then we learned all this super dead-on theology that this movie has to present. That's right. They must have gone to seminary to learn all of this stuff because this is what the Bible teaches, definitely. It doesn't. Then I think they play a spontaneous game of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not sure.
You and the other Grigori have done enough, teaching the humans dark arts, especially your brother Azazel, who taught them the secrets of war.
I remember.
In the Wonder Woman movie, right? Then in comes Chris, fallen angel.
If it isn't the tax yard, his swine servant, and my brother Sam.
And me, Discount Charlie Cox.
Let's make a deal.
That's my favorite classic game show. A lot of shoulder touching in this movie. What are these guys even talking about?
You shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which all of you shall be confined forever.
I don't know why I just thought of this, but I feel like it would be appropriate for me to formally apologize right here for calling the bar earlier in the movie gay.
And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth
get ready for the scariest part in the entire movie. They turn into Tinkerbell? What? I'll have what they're having. Oh my gosh. Look, I looked into these guys a little bit because I was curious as to who made this movie. What they do, for the most part, is make demo reels and stuff. So that's their real job. That's what they do. Maybe they just put together movies for fun. But like, this isn't great advertising for their work. Obviously, they probably did this on a nothing budget, I'm assuming. I hope so. All right, so I think they go into one of the bathroom stalls, and in there we find Satan, Adam, and Adam's girlfriend. And Satan seems to be pretty nonchalant about the death of his two demons.
Tossing them into the depths of the desert for 7 generations.
10 banana cream pies.
Adam, what are you doing here? They understand me far more than you ever will.
They get my leather jacket, okay, Dad? They understand my Uncle Jesse attitude. They're fine with me sitting on chairs backwards and saying, "Don't have a cow, man."
Don't you remember your mother? God is faithful.
He's repeating his lines from earlier.
The same power that rose Jesus from the dead
is being credited for making this movie happen.
You can tread on serpents and scorpions.
Silence! Enough with the ancient rhetoric.
Yes, thank you.
You will wish that you never came into my funnel.
That's where you're wrong, Lucifer.
I actually think it's pretty cool here.
God wants them to have a choice. And I'm here to make sure that they do.
Then comes in backup.
I didn't get an invitation.
Nor did I.
Looks like the real deal.
Guys.
All this because of the Gable boys and Adam's little
testaments.
Przyjdź królestwo Twoje, bądź wola Twoja.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Ooh, the magical power of scripture. Just say any verse from the Bible and it has magical powers. Michael then claps his hands and makes Satan's eyes black and his teeth yellow. I hope they don't make this look stupid in post. What the heck? Did we get the gnat sound yet? All right, well, that was a weird club. Let's not go in there again. Well, this gives them the opportunity to escape from purgatory. I don't know about you guys, but that place is definitely getting a bad Yelp review
for me. But Adam and his girlfriend don't remember a thing.
Do you remember anything from the nightclub?
You came in bursting with your cop buddy here.
Yeah, this is illegal. I'm calling the cops.
And I'm really trusting of the cops now after one tried to murder me the other day. So here's a rule that I didn't know about Satan.
He must not interfere with free will, or he himself will cease to exist.
Wow, if Satan interferes with free will, he'll cease to exist? Why haven't we tried that before?
So his dad takes him in for questioning.
Son, your mother is dead.
What? I know that. That's why I've been acting this way.
But Adam isn't falling for it. That's when Satan shows up.
You stay away from my son. You did this, you monster!
But Joseph has gotten so worked up, he gives himself a heart attack, I think. And this sobers Adam up real quick.
Edward, what's going on? What's the matter? I'm sorry for everything. I was just trying to get back at you.
That's right, it was always about you the whole time. You were right to think that. So his dad dies, and that's what brings him back. So I guess the moral of the story is, if your mom dies and you join Satan's boring little club, then all you need is for your dad to die, and it will balance things out. All right, cut over to the funeral where we see Joseph didn't have any friends. He doesn't even get a special funeral because he was law enforcement or something?
Instead, he just has his son there doing the thing that he always hated his son for doing.
Finally finished it, Dad. I found my bridge.
And speaking of, I'm sure glad God saved him from jumping off of that bridge only to die later. Add that to your Cinema Sins episode.
But if you thought it was all over yet, we still have one last supernatural fight. But not before we have one last boring conversation.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm sorry I couldn't deliver that line less Canadian.
I like your sound.
I'm a music producer that goes around to funerals looking for new talent.
What? Now he's an angel?
I'm more powerful now than when I was alive.
Oh, so they're using Star Wars rules here. I get it now. And then all the angels come out from hiding and they back Satan up into a grave where he gets sucked into hell. So, anybody in the mood for Burger King?
I believe this belongs to you. I wonder where I dropped this.
Angel Force!
Why does God allow this to happen?
If God be for you, then who can be against you?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Wait a minute. That's not an answer.
And you are not alone, my son.
Goes Dad? And Adam drives off into the sunset.
When will my children ever learn?
Because he's God. He was God. Do you get it yet? He was God the whole time! Well, there you have it, kids. Adam's Testament. The incredible true story. Okay, I don't think this movie said that it was a true story, but we all know that this is true. Man, if that doesn't get you revved up for All Hallows Eve, I don't know what will. Look. This movie was bad. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. The special effects were cheap, tough to watch, but to me, it's not quite as hilariously bad as other movies I've done during Halloween, like Hidden Presence or Invisible Enemies. Those are great movies to watch with a bunch of friends. You could sit down and watch them and laugh your buns off. But also, it's not ridiculous enough to even come across as self-parody. With movies like, I don't know, like Constantine maybe, I don't care what the theology is because we know that the movie's fictional. Nobody involved with the film is like, yeah, but did you get the important true message behind the film? This stuff really happens, man. Most people aren't saying that. However, this movie doesn't seem to know that. So then it obviously sets itself up for more scrutiny in regard to the theology and the spiritual aspect of it. But when you look at it that way, it doesn't even hold up in that regard either. With stuff like Frank Peretti's Piercing the Darkness, or even C.S. Lewis's Screwtape Letters, you kind of get to see what's happening in the realm of the spiritual. This is what might be happening, and all of this is influencing the real world. While the authors probably take them seriously, they also recognize that this is fictional speculation acting as if though it's a window into what potentially could be happening in the spiritual world, given what the Bible says about that and then filling in the gaps. I like that. That's interesting because you know that it's speculation. I don't get the rules in this movie.
Hey,
I'm Satan. Oh, geez, Satan's here. Everybody, there's Satan. Why is Satan literally showing up in physical form and talking to people? And if it's just supposed to be something that's happening within the universe, then what's the point? Why is this a Christian movie? Is it not supposed to be that? Am I misreading? Is it just supposed to be for entertainment purposes? And if that's the case, well, why isn't it entertaining? If you were trying to make a Christian movie, this is not that. In the end, if you didn't know what this movie was going into it, then I feel bad for you because you should have known. It's your fault if you didn't catch that. I don't have much else to say. I hope you had some laughs with this episode. And you know what? I hope you all have a safe Halloween, because look out, because Satan's probably out there looking for you. Maybe go to a trunk or treat at your church. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm Kevin, holding Christian movies up to the same standard as other films. Good night. Guys, I have so much fun making the show, but I couldn't do it without the awesome people who pledged to my Patreon. Some of those people include the Low Res Cinema YouTube channel, the Defenders of Liberty podcast, the Barely Protestant podcast. All that content is linked below. Jacob and Emily Rugrock, Andrea and Phil Lawson, and Amanda Stewart. Plus the other people on the screen. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. If you want to support the Patreon, head over to patreon.com/saygoodnightkev. That's all I've got to say for today. I'll see you guys soon. Good night.
And have succumbed to the 7 deadly sins of man.